Hey guys, Nhl from RC Insight here, and today I'm going to be reviewing the brand new Apple TV 4th generation. I'm going to hook it up in just a minute to show you guys how it works. But before I do, I just want to go over a few of the key features of just the box. You can see at the back here where we have a USB-C port for maintenance purposes only, an HDMI cable plug-in, an Ethernet plug-in, as well as our power supply plug-in. So this is where the power cord would connect, and then you would power up your Apple TV. It is kind of nice to have the HDMI port as well as the Ethernet port. It's sad that the USB one is not standard, but they're all nice features to have on the back. So that's about it for the design. You'll notice that it's a little bit thicker, it's a little bit larger. It now comes in 32 and 64 gigabyte versions, as it can support apps, which I will get into more later on in the video. I will also show you the old Apple TV, what it looks like, the 3rd gen, and show you some pictures of what the interface for the 3rd generation and the remotes and everything look like. But I'm going to hook this up so you guys can see how the brand new Apple TV works. Okay, so guys, I'm going to show you just how easy it is to get started with the brand new Apple TV 4th generation. To pair your remote, all you have to do is just click the trackpad here on the front. So I'm going to do that. Oh, and there we go. Now I will choose my language. Going to click on English, select our region, and click Setup with Device. Now this shows you how to set up your Apple TV. You have to unlock your iOS device, enable Bluetooth, and hold device close to the Apple TV. So I'm going to do that, and I'll be right back with you guys. Okay, so now we're going through the process of pairing our device. We've just held it up to the Apple TV. So first you have to enter your Apple ID and password on your iPhone. Okay, so now you have the option to enable or disable location services. So I'm going to enable location services. Then I'm going to use Siri. And now I can automatically download with the aerial screensaver, and then don't send the diagnostics and usage to Apple. I then agree to the terms and conditions. And now my Apple TV 4th generation is ready to go. Okay, so this is the brand new Apple TV. I've got it hooked up now and working. So just first off, you'll notice that all our previous movies are still here. So all 42 of our movies that we did have before are still easily accessible. One change you will notice is the menu in front of a movie is now slightly different. You can see we get the Rotten Tomatoes, we get the length, we get the rating, we get the release date, all right there on the top now. We have a preview button, which I'm assuming is going to be the trailer. Yes, it is.
You know the penguins are mad.
Then you also got your play button. You can add it to your wish list just right here, and if you scroll down, you obviously now can still see, it looks a little bit different than before, but you can still see all of the ratings, the cast and crew, which is a nice feature. You get to see the cast and crew, and then any other information. So if you're wondering how I just got back to the home button just like that, there is now a handy little home button on the remote right there that will automatically take you home from wherever you are. You can also see, if I go, let's say I show you, we've got all our TV shows as well. So if I'm in Sherlock, and then I realize I want to go back to the menu, obviously I could hit the home button, or I could hold down the Siri button and say, Siri, return to main menu. And just like that, I'm right back to my main menu. So Siri's very handy. With this new Siri remote button, I could say something like, play Penguins of Madagascar. And now you can see the Penguins of Madagascar movies come up right there. And I can access them very easily. I could search something like show me movies starring Chris Pratt. And then you see some movies starring Chris Pratt. So some nice, nifty Siri features there. You'll also see all our photos are automatically saved, including my beautiful new RC Insight logo, as well as our entire music library is here. The next important thing you'll see is the App Store. Now this is a big change from previous editions of the Apple TV, as you can now download apps. We've already downloaded MLB TV, so I'm going to show you guys very quickly how to download an app. It's very simple. Obviously, all our purchased apps already come up. Now, not all of them are compatible with the TV, but as you see, stuff like NHL and ESPN and all your sports apps is all readily accessible. So I can go to Watch ESPN here. It'll load up. I can just click on Install. And just like that, I now have Watch ESPN right on my TV, super quick. And so now, if I go back to the main menu, you can see we now have Watch ESPN right here and easily accessible. And then of course, once we log in and everything, it'll all work. Next thing I could say, I could use Siri, for example, again. Show me NHL scores. And just like that, it'll bring up the scores for today, and all of them come up right there. One thing about Siri is you do have to hold down the button on the remote while you say what you're saying, and you have to say it into your remote, not into your TV, and then it'll register it on the TV after that. So I'm going to go back to App Store now, and I'm also going to download Asphalt 8, just so you guys get an idea of how games work on the Apple TV. So we'll open up Asphalt 8 and install it. Now there is Metal on the Apple TV, so any games that are enhanced from Metal like this will work great. And this is a huge app, by the way, over 1 gigabyte, and it just did it that fast. That's just insane. So we'll go down and we'll click on Asphalt 8, and now in order to control the game, all I have to do is use the remote, and there's a accelerometer in the remote, so the remote will basically be my control for my steering, which is a very, very cool feature. Okay, so now it's done, and you can see the screen will pop up as soon as it's done loading here. And here we have Asphalt 8. So this is how you use it with remote. This will be interesting. So touch surface to navigate and to select, and then the menu and pause play buttons are for back. Tilt to steer, press on the touchpad for braking. Menu is pause, and the pause play button is for your nitro. So let's see how this works here. We'll play one race. We'll do the tutorial. So we'll see how this works. One thing that I've noticed is that everything seems to have loading times. I don't know if this will change after it's all been loaded once, but that is one thing that I've noticed just through watching this, is it's taking a little bit to start everything up. So let's see how this works here, running an app on the Apple TV. Now this does have enhanced Metal. This is enhanced with Metal, so it'll be pretty cool, because I already have Asphalt 8 on my iPad, but not with Metal's features, so this will be an interesting experience. Okay. Here we go. So as you saw, it says you gotta make sure your remote's in landscape mode. And so tilt right to turn, all very straightforward. Touch to hold, slow down, or stop. You can see one of the features of the Metal is the snow on the screen, which I think is a pretty cool feature. And actually, overall so far, this seems relatively easy to control, considering that it's an app on the TV. I was thinking there might be some maybe flaws with it, or just maybe some things that they hadn't been worked out yet. It might not be as smooth as it is on the iPad, but this is actually pretty cool, and to see it on your TV is something that is way different. The drifting's a bit iffy. So one thing I have noticed here is that drifting is not quite as controllable on the TV with the remote. That's one thing that I'm starting to notice a little bit, is that it's just not as easy to steer. But aside from that, this is actually a lot simpler and works a lot better than I thought. And that didn't work. So this is how basically games work on the brand new Apple TV. This is definitely a big step forward, I think. That's a really cool feature to have on the brand new Apple TV. So now that I've completed the tutorial, I will take you back to the App Store so you can see some of the other games that are available. Here are the recommended games on what to play. So none of these you got Crossy Road, you got Mr. Jump, Shadowmatic, so some familiar games that have just came out recently. Though you have Beach Buggy Racing, but some of these I'm not familiar with. Maybe you guys have seen them. It's still a very limited amount of games, and we'll see how it works in the future with updates. You can see they do have the best new apps, icons, gorgeous games, sports. So this is kind of the way the App Store looks on the new Apple TV. It'll be interesting to see how things work when updates for apps come out and when more apps become available, which I'm hoping will happen. So the one last thing that I want to show that I didn't show earlier is with movies. I'll choose a different movie, something like, let's see, Avengers. So when I go to play the Avengers here, you'll see now a very nice new feature. So instead of having to go back to settings to add subtitles and do all these changes, you can now just swipe down from the top while you're watching a video, and you get your info, you get all the scene selection, and you get subtitles, your audio. So those are all nice features. And then to go back, you just hit the menu button, and it's gone just like that. So super easy feature. That about sums it up for the new Apple TV. I'm going to take you guys and give you a quick look of what the Apple TV 3 looked like so you can get a bit of a comparison. So the last thing I'm going to do, guys, here is you just can see these are some old pictures of the old Apple TV. This is the main movies screen. You can see it looks significantly different, and for those of you who know what the old one looked like, you'll know some of the changes that they made to the menu. And then also the app screen, you can see all those are already pre-downloaded apps that come with the TV. There's no actual App Store button. So that sums it up for this video, guys. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed the review, if you found it helpful in any way, please click the like button down below. And as always, if you're enjoying the channel content, don't forget to subscribe. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.